Good afternoon, this is Rashad Mitchell coming to you live from my YouTube channel as I continue on my part series of the week that was college football's history in review, the 1955 college football season. And this time I'll be talking about week number 10, November 19th, 1955. Number 13, West Virginia lost to Syracuse 20-13 as shorthanded due to injuries from its bruising defeat in Pittsburgh. West Virginia was unable to use its alternating units. It showed as Syracuse halfback Jimmy Brown wore down Mountaineers defense in steady snowstorm, and Brown did it right from start, going 71 yards with opening kickoff. Orangemen failed to score on that opportunity thanks to holding penalty that stayed steady despite slipping behind 13-6 by halftime. West Virginia scored on halfback Joe McCorney's 6-yard sweep early in the second quarter. After halfback Bob Moss 64-yard spurt saw Ernst tied on quarterback Eddie Albright's short touchdown keeper and went ahead late in the second quarter on quarterback Mickey Tramarki's 24-yard pass to halfback Ralph Anastasio. West Virginia University made every single first down in the second half until the last 2 minutes. By then, it was too late as Albright launched 2 touchdown passes off 47 yards to end Jim Ridlin and 12 yards to end Dick Lassie. Shutout was performed by number 15 Pittsburgh 20-0. Pittsburgh over Penn State 20-0 in favor of Pittsburgh, number 15 team in the country. Brawny Pittsburgh ends defensive ends John Pollock and Joe Walton helped stonewall Nittany Lions halfback Lenny Moore for 13 yards on 10 carries in heavy snowstorm. So obscure were line markers that Panthers quarterback Pete Neff trusted officials only to spot his sneaks when big play was needed. Neff totaled 35 yards on his wedges, including 2-yard second quarter touchdown after his 22-yard pass to Pollock. Pitt fullback defensive back Bob Greer hauled an interception and made 2 yards touchdown at end of 77-yard drive in third quarter. Ahead 14-0, Pitt sub quarterback Corny Salvatierra clinched it by slipping through guard Al Barkovac's block and making short cutback on a 62-yard touchdown run in the fourth quarter. Penn State had mounted both its threats in the first quarter. Lions were halted by interception at Panthers' 18-yard line and went from own 30-yard line to Pitt 8-yard line before being stopped by injuries on fourth down. Victory gave Pitt its best record since 1938. Number 20 Duke beat Wake Forest 14-0. Halfback Bob Pascal came within 5 yards of breaking a C-game rushing mark of Virginia fullback Jim Batier by gaining 157 yards on 20 carries and scoring both Blue Devils touchdowns. Pascal appeared gone for first quarter touchdown when he charged 63 yards only to be hauled down by Wake Forest halfback defensive back Billy Ray Barnes at Wake Forest 21-yard line. Duke quarterback Sonny Jurgensen made touchdown-saving tackle of his own in first quarter, halting halfback defensive back John Parton, who raced 56 yards with interceptions to Duke 36-yard line like that was earlier. Deacons were held. Duke and defensive end Bob Benson made interception at his 8-yard line in second quarter. The Blues barreled 92 yards to score, chiefly on Pascal's 45 yards, and Jurgensen's 2 passes for 37 yards. Pascal locked it up on 1-yard touchdown blocks on fourth down in third quarter. Marriott Wake turnovers inhibited any threats. Kentucky beat number 17 Tennessee 23-0 as unbeaten since October. Volunteers were stunned by Kentucky, which mothballed its ample air gain for 246 yards on ground, mostly by fullback Bob Daugherty. All-purpose Kentucky tackle kicker Lou Michaels opened with 29 yards. Field goal in his first quarter. Wildcats tried only 2 for 3 before passing. Stellenberger caught 26-yard touchdown from quarterback Bob Hardy. It was Kentucky's third straight win over Volunteers in most lopsided since 1935, as Wildcats' advantage may have been seized week early when Smokey, Tennessee's mascot hound, was dognapped by Kentucky students who promised good treatment and release in Lexington time for game. Volunteers gained 229 yards rushing, but it was aerial game that abandoned them, and they passed 32 yards, 3 for 11 for 5 interceptions. Vanderbilt beat Florida 21-6. Vanderbilt spine Rare Bowl invitation, 6 went in a row. caught warm weather Florida in Nashville's nippy 40 degrees with 18 miles per hour gusts. Commodores used 5:38 after opening kickoff to go 72 yards to back Joe Scales' 19-yard touchdown run. Offensive pass interference penalty early in the second quarter. Gave his halfback Don Chandler in end zone. Turned ball over to Vandy at own 20-yard line. Smashing middles of Florida line. Vandy went 74 yards only to be stopped at 6-yard line. But quarterback punter Dick Allen's ensuing end zone punt was shanked to 9-yard line. Fullback Phil King scored on first play for 14-0 Commodores lead. Despite several threats, it took until last minute of third quarter for Florida to score on well-blocked 39-yard scallop by sub-fullback Ed Sears. Conversion kick was blocked by Vandy line, so it stood 14-6. Commodores were stopped at Gators' 1-yard line, but Florida's resultant end zone punt gave Vandy short field for halfback Charlie's Horton's clinching touchdown run. Number 9, Ohio State beat Michigan, the number 16 in the country, 17-0. Ineligible for Rose Bowl due to no repeat rule. Ohio State spoiled Michigan's Pasadena Dreams in odd game that sent Michigan State 33-0 winner over Marquette to Rose Bowl. Buckeyes made in kicker Fred Chris. Second quarter, Cameron off upright field goal, stand up for 3-0 lead in fourth quarter. Early in the fourth quarter, Ohio State All-American halfback Howard Cassidy fumbled at Wolverine's goal line, but officials ruled that Cassidy scored, so Michigan howled. Moments later, Wolverines were deep in their own territory. Ricochet pass landed in the hands of Michigan halfback Terry Bard. It was dropped for safety by Swift Ohio guard Aurelius Thomas. So Ohio State led 11-0. So late roughing penalty on Wolverines tackle Lionel Sigmund and successful protest penalties moved Ohio inside Michigan 1-yard line. And Buckeyes rugged fullback Don Veach battered over. Game ended in Donnybrook. Baseball score took place in this game between Purdue and Indiana, where Purdue beat Indiana 6-4. Chilled crowd saw Purdue lock up the old Oaken bucket for 8th straight year. But in a scoreless first half, heroic Indiana defense led by Master Center Joe M. Stokes threw back Boilermakers bids at 4:18 and 13-yard line. Purdue offense was sparked by quarterback Lenny Dawson and sub fullback Mel Dillard, who had 98 yards and 21 carries, who saw 60 minutes of duty with both top fullbacks out with injury. Purdue halfback Jim Whitner fumbled punt deep and on end 5 minutes into the third quarter, but Dawson was Johnny on the spot, swooping in to scoop up the loose ball. Only trouble was that Dawson's momentum sped him in the wrong direction, and he looped back into own end zone with 3 Hoosiers in pursuit. So Indiana end defensive end Pat Flellinger hauled him down for safety in the 2-0 lead. So Bowlers guard Bob Clausey, Bowlers guard Bob Clazy fell on a fumble on own 47-yard line late in the third quarter, so Whitmer snatched pass away from 2 defenders for first down at the Indiana 19-yard line. So halfback Ed Neves bolted over from 1-yard line as fourth quarter began, and the Purdue Boilermakers led 6-2. So on early going, Whitmer made end zone interception, or after penalty pushed back Boilers, Dawson ran around in end zone before conceding another safety in game's end. Afterward, Purdue coach Stu Holcomb jokingly suggested Indiana was trying to run up the score with this second 2-point play. Number 1 Oklahoma beat Nebraska 41-0. Sooners and Cornhuskers each entering game with 5-0 conference marks squared off Big 7 title. So Oklahoma locked up its 10th straight Big 7 crown, hoping to provide the parting gift for the colorful coach Biff Glassford. Frequent wearer of battered brown derby hat, Nebraska rolled early to 8-yard line, but Oklahoma's fullback linebacker Dennis Morris carried interception out to 35-yard line to begin drive, which ignited a 6-touchdown avalanche. So Sooners quarterback Jimmy Harris went out early with shoulder injury, so sub quarterback Jay O'Neal was inserted to guide both starters in second unit. O'Neal scored opening touchdown behind blocks of guards Joe Jusky and Bill Krischer, and prevented Huskers' speedy speedy halfback Willie Greenlaw from scoring when O'Neal was only defensive back in position to knock him out of bounds. So Oklahoma won stat battle 502 yards to 187 yards at halfback Bob Burris scored 2 touchdowns, and halfbacks Tommy McDonald, Clendon Thomas tied 1 each. Southern Methodist shut out Baylor 12-0. Ponies quarterback John Roach pitched 2 touchdowns to vault patched up SMU lineup to upset win. Highly touted Baylor quarterback Doyle trailer man 6 for 9 for 64 yards passing, but had to dart about in his backfield to avoid frequent pressure. So Mustangs went 50 yards in first quarter for touchdown as fullback Ray Masters chipped in with 15-yard run. Roach hit in Tommy Gentry with 14-yard pass until halfback Charlie Jackson slipped into end zone's corner for 8-yard scoring pass on 4th and 3. So Bruins center linebacker Lee Harrington, who was defensive standout, blocked extra point. SMU traveled 69 yards in 10 plays in third quarter. Mustangs stayed on ground until a 5-yard penalty pushed them back to a 16-yard line, from where in Willard Duvall beat Bears halfback defensive back Dale Schaffner for the touchdown grab. Baylor's most menacing moment spanned first and second quarters as in Tony DeGrazier, who was drilled just outside 1-yard line by halfback defensive back Don McIlhenny on third down pass. Schaffner then was tossed for loss by defensive end Gentry on 4th down sweep. Louisiana State beat Arkansas 13-7 in Little Rock. Grinding scoreless conflict was spiced late in the second quarter as Bengals suddenly turned to their passing attack and achieved 3 of their game-end 4 completions to take them to 18-yard line. But Arkansas quarterback defensive back Don Christian halted that threat with the goal line interception. The game took an abrupt switch on the first snap of the third quarter when LSU halfback Chuck Johns shed 3 Razorbacks tacklers and bolted 35 yards for the touchdown. Arkansas answered immediately. Wingback Ronnie Underwood returned following kickoff 88 yards for 7-7 deadlock. So LSU grabbed upset win on a 74-yard fourth quarter drive ended by fullback O.K. Ferguson's 20-yard run through block of left tackle Earl Leggett. Johns Ferguson starred on defense as Tigers linebackers who helped completely frustrate Arkansas' usually effective wide plays as Hogs made only 94 yards of offense. Number 5, UCLA beat Southern California 17-7. Opening kickoff sounded sour note for the Trojans. Tailback Jaguar John Arnett went 97 yards, but turned out that Troy Front had lined up outside. I always thought that officials are supposed to help players line up properly, complained Southern California coach Jess Hill. Tackle Fabian Abram lined up correctly at 50-yard line, but his 4 other line mates were back 5 yards. It was believed that loud crowd drowned out umpire Orion Landrif's attempts to add Trojans. Sam Brown, one of Bruins' best single-wing tailbacks, and coach Red Sanders Regime rushed for 150 yards and 27 carries. That's basically it for that. The last game we want to talk about is Oregon shut out number 19 Oregon State by a score of 28-0. Surprising Beavers in first year under coach Tommy Prothero saw their 4-game win streak halted as fired up Ducks staged touchdown drives of 71, 65, 51, 60 yards, attempting only 4 passes. Oregon depended on running of halfback duo of Jim Shanley, who had 160 yards rushing on 27 carries, and Dick James had 114 yards on 22 carries. So frustrated Oregon State gained only 77 yards of offense. So that concludes a look at the week that was, the games that were played on week 10 of November 19th, 1955. Here's the AP poll as of November 21st, 1955. Oklahoma was number 1. Number 2, Michigan State. 3 was Maryland. Number 4, UCLA. Number 5, Notre Dame. Number 6, Ohio State. Number 7, Texas Christian. Number 8, Texas A&M. Number 9, Georgia Tech. Auburn. Number 10, Navy, number 11. Michigan, number 12. Number 13, Pittsburgh. Number 14, Miami. Number 15, Mississippi. Number 16, Miami of Ohio. Stanford, number 17. Number 18, number 18, Duke. Number 19, Vanderbilt. And number 20, Syracuse. So that concludes a look at the week that was, the game that was played on week 10, November 19th, 1955. Hopefully you enjoyed this the recap of the games that were played on week 10, November 19th, 1955. And subscribe, like, comment on the channel. This is the week that was college football's history and review. The week that was college football's history and review, the 1955 college football season. Subscribe, like, comment. Until then, talk to you tomorrow.